Hey guys, Key here. Haven't done a video in a while, but I had a dream last night and I want to try to share it with you. I'm going to try to get through it. I'm cooking dinner, so I'm going to try to tell you it fast. So the dream, my wife was moving into an apartment for a week with some strange man. I don't know. The man was on the left side of the apartment, and when you walked in the apartment, I was helping her like move stuff in there, and I was like bringing like the moving truck to her apartment. And while I was there, I realized like when I walked in, like the living room, the kitchen, all the common areas was his stuff. Like everything was his. And he had his own room on the left side, and then she had a room on the right side. So I'm walking toward her room, and her hallway to her room that's off the kitchen. It was very narrow. Like I had to go sideways to get through it, and on the one side wall it had like the entertainment system and things like that, but it was in the hallway, but on her side. And the kitchen divided their rooms. Like there was a kitchen, his room was on the other side, and there was a kitchen, and then in the front of the house or the apartment was the living room. And I remember all the stuff was his stuff, except for on her side in her room. And people were like coming in, like helping me. I don't know if they were helping me, but they were going into my wife. And so I was like, I was looking at the system, and I can't really remember what I was doing, but it was like a CD player or something like that, and I was messing with it, and a girl walked up, and I was like, one girl walked up, and I can't remember, but I said like, oh, didn't I give you this? I gave you this, and it does recording, like it does it, and I'm like, didn't I give you this? Like, like the CD. Like long time ago, you could like record things on like a radio, like and then erase it and stuff like that, and those little like a mixtape, but a CD back in the day, and you kind of wrote, this is a mixtape, and I told her that. I'm like, well, didn't I give you this? And then she's like, no, no, no. And then another girl walked up and she gave me a big old hug, like she knew me, like, hey, gave me a big, like, hi, and I said, hey, honey, but I really did not have any idea who she was. I did not know her at all, but I kind of like, oh, hey, like, I don't know you. And I remember in my dream, I was thinking, I have no idea who this person is. Like, I've never seen her face in my life, anything like that, but she gave me a hug as although she knew me, but I did not know her. Then they all, like, people were passing me, but they were going in the room with my wife. So I finally went in the room, and I remember I was thinking in the dream, like I don't know if that makes sense. I was thinking, but I was dreaming, but I was thinking while I was in the dream, whatever. So I went to my wife and I said, hey, honey, why do you have to be here? She's like, I just need to rest. I'm only going to be here for a week, and I'm like, well, he's like weird. Like, what if something happens when I'm gone? And I knew that me and my kids would be gone. And so I'm like, well, what if something happens? Like, what if you guys sneak in here or, try to do something to you? Why I can't protect you? I'm not here. And she said, don't worry, there's a lock on the door. So I kind of looked over my shoulder and I saw a big old like padlock on the door. And then I kind of looked in the hallway, and the hallway was very narrow, very small, very narrow. And I knew that he wouldn't be able to, if he tried anything, she could lock him out and there's no access. But I remember in that dream, like it was leather couches, and she was sitting on the love seat, but the love seat was kind of like a V, but it was like a cushion, like this and like that. And then there was another couch there. And I remember thinking in my head, this is not going to be comfortable. Like she keeps saying she wants to rest, and she kept saying, Mama gotta rest, Mama gotta rest. And I was thinking, well, in my head, I was thinking, well, you're not going to want to rest here for very long, because you're going to remember the bed that we share and the children. You're going to miss us, and so you're going to get a rest for a little bit, but you're not going to want to stay there. And I remember thinking that, like, you're not going to stay there. But she's like, and I said, well, what happens if he comes? And she said, well, he will only be here for a week. I'm only going to be here for a week, and after that week is up, he's going to leave. So I was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, okay, and then I woke up. That was the end of the dream. And what got me is she kept saying at the end of the dream, Mama's got to rest, Mama's got to rest. And so I prayed to the Lord, and I said, Lord, what is the interpretation of this? Because it was very strange to me that, like, I'm not going to, in physical world, I'm not going to let my wife go move with some man. Hello, no. So I prayed, and I said, God, what's this dream about? And he said it's Israel, that my wife represented Israel and I represented Christ, and the children represented like the church. And I know that we are going to be in, like, the rapture's going to happen and we're going to all be taken away, but Israel's going to still be left, and he's going to Israel will share the earth with the devil, with the Antichrist, and it's his house, it's his stuff, and we have a spot in it, a spot of safety, of of rest for a little time, but it's going to be such a way that we won't want to rest there forever, that we are going to have our eyes on the prize and say, well, I know I'm not going to want to stay here for good forever, but I know that while I'm here, I'll be protected, and I know there's a lock, it's a narrow way to me, you can't just get to me. And the people were going in with her, and I knew those people were like staying with her while she was in there. And like the girl that gave me a hug, she embraced me as though she knew me, but I didn't know her. And with me understanding that I represented Christ in that, the you know, the, I guess you can say the husband or whatever, I represented Christ, and she represented the foolish Christians that they know of God, but God does not know them, or Christ does not know them. And there's a very thin line between knowing God intellectually and knowing God spiritually, eternally, intimately. And this girl thought she knew me, but she knew of me, but I knew in the dream, I said, I don't know you. Like I said that, like, I don't know you. But she went in with my wife. So I'm assuming that the church and the Israelites, Jacob, I guess you can say, is going to be in the same room together during tribulation. And although they have to share a house or apartment, which an apartment is not somewhere you want to stay forever, you know. And I remember in the dream, I knew it was temporary because my wife kept saying, it's only going to be 7 days. It's only going to be 7 days. And after the 7 days, he's going to leave. So that's why I believe it's going to be Israel, because Israel's going to stay, and it's going to be staying longer than 7 days. And the Antichrist is going to be thrown into the lake of fire. So I hope you guys understand this. If you have more interpretation, again, I don't know about the CD thing. Like the girl came to the CD and I said, you know, this is a radio thing, and I went to the CD and was like, didn't I give you this CD? Like, didn't I? I don't know if like it's. I remember it was something that I kept recording. So maybe God is saying, I told, and the girl was going through, maybe that's the foolish bride, that I gave you this, but didn't I give, you don't remember that I gave, I don't know. So you guys are open to interpretation. Tell me what you think, share, like and subscribe, whatever. All right, God bless you guys. Have a good night.